I'm sure we've all felt like not quite right, but it's like, am I really going to go to the doctor over this? Well, it turns out you should. It's Y101, Adam and Allison. I found a list of some things that seem like minor medical issues, but could be a sign of something bigger. Mm-hmm. So I want to know if you've ever ignored something that you didn't think was a big deal, and it turned out it was a big deal. 601-995-1017. According to this list, animal scratches and bites, and it doesn't matter if it's from like a random animal or your own pet, that could actually cause some serious infections if your pet or, again, a wild animal breaks the skin.
Well, yeah, if it's a wild animal, I'm going to be a little paranoid. But I mean, like, I grew up with cats, and I would have claw marks sometimes. We'd play, and things would get a little too rough, or I'd be holding them, and they'd get scared. And I mean, skin would definitely break, and I was never like, I should go to the doctor.
Now, so your cats must have washed their paws after they dug holes in their litter box and then buried their droppings. Did they, just sanitize right after?
Cats are super clean.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're
are.
disgusting. Puncture wounds can happen from like stepping on things like glass or a nail, or like me at Christmas time last year, I stepped on a little tiny piece of wood and it hurt so bad.
Oh, no.
But it was like a week went by and it was still hurting. And I thought I had stepped on like a Lego or something and didn't see it. But no, I had a splinter in like the ball of my foot.
Ow, did you get it out? Did you have to go to a doctor?
I didn't go to a doctor. I was able to like pop it out, and then I put some Neosporin on there. But that could actually lead to some pretty serious stuff. 601-995-1017. What's something that you didn't think was a big deal that turned out to be a big deal, Allison?
Oh, I've had so many. The worst case was probably, I used to get so many injuries from dance, like spraining my ankle, stuff like that. And it was whenever I was 12 years old, I was like, ow, my back's really starting to hurt. Mm-hmm. And even my mom was like, you're fine. You're a little kid. Like, nothing could be that wrong. Well, the pain lasted for years and years and years. And it wasn't until I broke my ankle, like 6 years later, that we were like, maybe get an x-ray of the back just to see what's going on. There were 3 healed stress fractures that just never got dealt with.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, but they healed themselves. So it turns out they didn't need to be dealt with.
Wow, but now I also have permanent back problems from that.
601-995-1017 if you can relate. The only thing that I could really think of, because I'm not a go to the doctor kind of guy. Like if I do go to the doctor, something is seriously wrong. But I was having a big toe issue. I've got bad big toes. And and I guess I figured I had like an ingrown toenail or something.
Yeah.
I thought I could just go to an urgent care and get like antibiotics and it would clear up, no problem.
Oh, okay.
So the doctor took a look at it and he's like, oh no, we got to take that out like immediately. And I was like, well, what? Wait, because I've heard that's incredibly painful to get an ingrown toenail dealt with. Sure enough, it is some of the worst pain that you will ever feel in your life. Not just the recovery part, which was rough, but they numb up your toe. Mm-hmm. And the needle that they use to do that is so bad. I'll never go again. I'll just deal with ingrown toenails for the rest of my life. It's fine.
Oh, man. That sounds so unfun, though.
601-995-1017. If you ever thought something was kind of minor, like a poke to the eye, which is something that is apparently a big deal, and you should get checked out immediately.
You know what? My aunt, who is a nurse, has yelled at me a few times because, like, if you wear contacts and something happens with, like, you scratch your cornea, that's a really big deal and you shouldn't be wearing your contacts anymore. That's a huge no-no. But, like, I want to wear my contacts, so I'll power through it. I'll use some, like, eye drops, which, again, you're not supposed to do. So, yeah, my aunt has been like, what are you doing?
Another one that one of these online doctors said you need to watch out for is hitting your head. Always watch for signs of a concussion, including dizziness, headache, nausea, and light sensitivity and trouble concentrating. I worked with a guy one time who had bumped his head on like an overhead bin on an airplane.
Oh.
Didn't think anything of it. Didn't have any of those symptoms. Then weeks later, he was live on the air. We were all at work in the morning, and he just started slurring his words out of nowhere. And his producers were like, are you having a stroke? Turns out he was, and it was a minor stroke, but still, a stroke is a stroke.
Yeah.
And it was all because he hit his head a couple weeks ago.
I'm not going to be relieved if the doctors are like, don't worry, it's a minor stroke. Like,
but still, it was very, very scary. And then to find out that it was all centered around like a minor head bump, something that all of us have done millions of times in our life. 601-995-1017. You didn't think it was a big deal? Turns out it was. Latasha said, my sister's ex-boyfriend accidentally punctured himself in the leg with a toothpick because it was in his bed. He didn't know it. It got infected. He ended up in the ICU. I want to know what kind of force was happening in that bed that a toothpick was jammed all the way into somebody's leg. Like, was he jumping on it? Like, what was going on?
That's a good point.
Big compliment to Latasha's sister, apparently.
No, why was the toothpick in the bed in the first place, too?
I don't know. What else are people saying on the text line?
So I definitely thought Cassie was just making a joke because you had said, like, if your pet, like a cat, scratches you and breaks skin, that's something that ER doctors are warning about.
Yes.
And I was like, but that happens to every person who is a cat. And she said that's how you get cat scratch fever. I thought she was just making a reference to Cats the Musical.
You didn't know that cat scratch fever was a real thing?
I learned that today. Cassie taught me.
Wow. And as somebody who owned cats, as you probably have cat, you're probably a carrier for cat scratch fever. Jesse says, I broke my back during taser training. Jesse's a former cop. In December of 2007, I thought it was just a sore muscle. Didn't get an MRI until January and had to have immediate surgery. Doctor saw me on a Friday and said, try not to move till Monday for surgery. And this is a question I have for Jesse. Why, to be able to carry a taser, do cops need to be tasered? Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Why do they have to? Is it like, I don't understand why that is.
Maybe in case like you accidentally get hit in the line of duty.
What, do you think you're going to be surprised that it hurts? Like, I didn't go through taser training. I had no idea that was going to hurt.
I don't know. Maybe Jesse can answer that question.
Adam and Allison in the morning.